You're dead! You're dead! Fucking Billy, I'm not dead! Oh, you will be! Shut up, Billy!
Billy, we don't need this shit right now.
The film opens on a rainy night. We receive tiny views of expositional fragments, indicating that we are being introduced to someone about to board a flight to France. And based on the constant fan, they're doing it in a musty environment. We then shift to the morning of a seemingly ordinary day, as our main character, Alex, prepares for his travel. Alex left an old flight tag on his luggage because it came from a flight that did not crash. Because that was not how planes worked, she slashed the tag right off. We learn that Alex is on a senior trip to Paris. His father encourages him to let loose while he's there. Live it up, Alex. Relax there, Dad. We do not want anyone leaving newborns behind. Also, you have your entire life ahead of you. It is correct, even if you die young. Enjoy your flight. But not yet. For some reason. It's nighttime again. Perhaps because portents of doom and misery appear creepier that way. While Alex sleeps, an unexplained breeze blows through his chamber. Not to sound pessimistic, but it's most likely the unstoppable machinations of fate condemning his soul as death approaches. At least, that is my guess. After several days of introductions, we eventually arrive at the airport, where Alex meets up with the rest of the Dude Bro team, ready to crush it in Paris. Alex, being superstitious as he is, sees doom wherever he looks. In one of the most obvious signs, a Hare Krishna emerges to enlighten him about the nature of death. Fortunately, Miss Luton is present to sharply rebuff him. Alex then seems beguiled as the flight board changes, revealing that his flight is scheduled to depart at 9:25 a.m., which corresponds to his birth date. That usually indicates you'll die. We then spend a little time getting ready for the flight. The kids do teen things while Alex continues to stare at things, most likely reflecting on usual teen insecurities as he notes the plane's imposingly phallic form. One of his friends persuades him to take the pre-flight dumper, and they begin to board. Alex is distracted by dad-asses on the sidewalk, and he continues to make micro-observations of features such as scuffs on the plane and other things as he becomes increasingly agitated. This kid. Alex is friend-zoned and becomes progressively irritated as they take off. They encounter some early turbulence before takeoff, which eventually evens out, and then things go sideways when the jet begins to tear apart at 500 miles per hour. The carnage eventually leads to an explosion, waking Alex in his seat. But this power nap left him hot and bewildered. As events begin to unfold in a manner similar to his dream, he becomes increasingly concerned. Even tiny details, such as his snack tray shattering, become too much for Alex, and he snaps. In a pre-9/11 scene, he is hauled off the plane rather than shot or smothered as a result of his freakout. The commotion attracts several of his drama-seeking peers, all of whom become involved in the flight ejection. This stops the group from reboarding and unfairly penalizes Hitchcock, who is only now showing up to board after having trouble cutting one off in the lavatory. As they continue to argue about their bad luck, the plane explodes in mid-air, reversing their fortunes. Sorry for the passengers, but you've escaped death. At least you can go home and unwind, right? Naturally, this experience has left the group traumatized. A representative from the National Transportation Agency arrives to offer assistance, checking up on their progress and suggesting counseling choices. However, this nurturing BS is too much for the FBI officers, who have some interrogation to do, so they stop it and begin questioning the group, which tells them everything we just saw. Alex is the primary suspect at this time, having made inappropriate comments about what will happen just before those events occurred. With the exception of Clear, they all return home to their families. She takes a ride with Alex so we can establish her as a melancholy loner. With a heart of gold, we will see. 39 days later, the school holds a memorial service for the students and faculty killed in the crash. As we can see, the memorial consists of a bitchin' eagle statue and the service includes acoustic guitaring with some classic 90s emo warbling over top of it. We discover that most of the students are turned off by Alex, believing he had something to do with the catastrophe or is a spooky foreteller of death. Don't speak to me, you terrify the crap out of me. Unfortunately, despite his acute loneliness, the majority of the other characters appear to be as superstitious as he is. Todd delivers a touching lecture about the inevitability of death before presenting us with what appears to be our 15th bathroom sitting scene. Meanwhile, Alex, noticing a disruption in the lower colon's universal chi, is assaulted once more by that persistent breeze. Todd is back in his bathroom, playing grown-up at the sink and practicing shaving. When he cuts himself, he dreams about the day he will grow his first whisker, then moves on to the nose hairs. He's pampering himself to a variety of spa-like grooming treatments today. Alex throws a spank bank, which is promptly shredded. A fragment lands on his knee, and instead of something wicked, it's a segment of text that reads Todd, implying that Todd will die. We return to Todd as a sluggish water leak follows him through the restroom. The water can force him to stumble and fall into the tub, winding a string around his neck in the process, while spilled shampoo prevents him from getting back up. He dies slowly in the bathtub in an unbearably cruel manner. Afterward, the water recedes, confirming our fears about its alien origin. Alex and Claire eventually find up at Todd's residence. Todd's parents blame Alex for his death, believing it was a suicide motivated by guilt for leaving his brother on the plane to check on Alex. Claire was also present because she has an emotional connection to Alex's situation. Assuming there is more to learn, they break into the funeral home to see Todd's body, perhaps because they are forensics experts. They are interrupted by Candyman, who is not upset that they broke in. He's just pleased to have someone to chat to. So he does, although vaguely. In death, there are no accidents. They assume that there is some type of fatalistic design at work here, attempting to complete what they interrupted on the plane. Perhaps if they know the plan, they can stop it, but they must act with caution. You don't even want to mess with that, Mac Daddy. The next day, we see a near convergence of disastrous circumstances when Carter makes a U-turn and nearly strikes Hitchcock in order to confront Alex outside a cafe. Carter's coping strategy is outright hostility, aimed specifically against Alex. His girlfriend Terry has had enough. She can no longer tolerate wrath or fear and is ready to let go of her survivor guilt and go on, which she does effectively for the rest of her life. Alex, terrified of his seeming power, decides it is best to avoid the other survivors in case he has any undue influence on the trajectory of their lives. Meanwhile, plane crash investigators have a better understanding of what transpired. The explosion resulted from a chain reaction that spread throughout the fuselage. Alex sees that this could reveal a likely order for the intended sequence of fatalities. Now that we have some direction, we have a basic notion of what to expect. It's just an issue of determining how to stop it. After determining that Miss Luton is next, we now direct our focus to her, who is acting ridiculously on the phone. I've lived here my entire life, and I look everywhere for fantastic memories. When she notices Alex lurking around, she contacts the FBI. They arrive quickly and whisk him away before he gets a chance to finish his mechanical assessment of her automobile. Unfortunately, Miss Luton receives that same wind of undetermined sources immediately after he is removed. She resumes her job now that the problem has been resolved. She discovers Mom's favorite album and starts to spit on her grave by pressing her fingers on the grooves. Meanwhile, Alex goes through the catch and release process. The FBI doesn't buy his pattern talk, but there's no cause to detain him. So he leaves and returns to Miss Luton, who's about to move from tea to vodka. As the cup splits and the machinations continue, some drips of vodka pour into her monitor, causing a short in the cathode tube, shooting glass into her neck, and a series of phrases unfamiliar to anyone born in the year this film was released. Not satisfied with teaching her a proper lesson for drinking devil's juice, the short then starts a fire that goes along Satan's PP tract back to the vodka bottle, which explodes. If it wasn't weird enough, the knife block collapses, allowing a huge kitchen knife to penetrate her torso and be driven to completion by a falling chair. Couldn't death have simply given her a heart attack or something? Alex, powerless to help her, watches the final few links in the sequence of events before fleeing. Skeeter just happens to arrive there at this exact moment, and the home explodes. Carter and Hitchcock attend the memorial at Claire's request. Given the previous occurrences, they are all taking this very seriously now. They decide they need to find Alex and see if there is anything they can do to avert more tragedies. As they drive toward where they believe Alex is, Claire gets out to circle while the lads go on. She catches up with Alex and becomes really metaphysical with him. If that was the plan for my father and family, then fuck death. The fatalistic vision of death that is developing may have a long-term impact on their lives. So it's bad to die here, but you can be alive there, which isn't the same as being here, but it's still you. So you can find solace. A version of yourself with whom you have no common experiences lives on. Somewhere. Alex joins the group and Carter decides to take control of his fate, only to confirm that it is beyond their control as he leaves untold numbers of car wrecks in his wake but emerges unscathed. Carter can't decide whether to come or go as he eagerly awaits an approaching train, but suddenly changes his mind, leaving him trapped. Alex pulls them out just in time, and everyone is amazed by the lucky turn of events. Feeling duped, Death assures that Hitchcock will never have to risk another terrible haircut. Alex receives a realization after finally acting on the portents of death. He recognizes that while death was not entirely avoided, the order was disregarded. He's not sure how they'll use this information yet, but he knows he's next, so he flees to his secluded cabin, which he's baby-proofed with copious amounts of cork and duct tape. He spends his days eating canned junk and preventing unnecessary complex mishaps from occurring. Because this will not function as the beginning of the finale, Clear decides she is also ready to take action and informs the FBI agents of Alex's location. At the same time, Alex finds that his execution order was incorrect owing to a seat swap on the plane, and that Clear is next in line. Alex, determined to reach her, slowly escapes on a boat, which amazingly works. With Alex on his way, the universe decides it's Clear's turn and seeks to entice her into danger by threatening her dog. Despite multiple blunders, she and Alex manage to stumble their way into a predicament in which she is trapped in a car with a live power line dancing on her hood. To save Clear, he decides to defy the order and sacrifice himself. He gives his final goodbye, although not in the sense of being alive, and snatches the line. Clear is able to escape as the local power grid drains into his body. We cut to 6 months later. Alex, Carter, and Clear are all alive and well in France, and they appear to be good friends as a result of their common ordeal. Even though they're supposed to be relaxing, Alex can't help but try to fill the final plot hole by pointing out that the death cycle hasn't been completely ended because no one acted on his behalf. He attempts to flee. To where? We can't be certain. Carter tries to stop him, but saves him by accident, putting himself on the chopping block. Who is next? Please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.